In a secluded part of the woods, where every shadow holds a whispered secret, lies the enigmatic Harrington Manor. Its walls are steeped in tales as old as time, tales we're about to unravel. If the thought of venturing into the mysterious excites you, and you hunger for more spine-tingling stories, do hit the like button. And to embark on more such eerie adventures, don't forget to subscribe. With that said, let's unveil the dark chronicles of Harrington Manor. Deep within a mist-laden forest, where even the bravest birds refuse to sing, Harrington Manor looms over the landscape, a silent sentinel guarding its grim past. The grand edifice, now weathered and worn, hints at the opulence it once boasted. Yet, its cracked windows and overgrown grounds tell tales of neglect and time's cruel passage. The manor's walls, if they could speak, would whisper of lavish balls that turned to ghastly feasts, of echoing laughter that transformed into screams lost to the wind. Every brick, every creaking floorboard is soaked in stories waiting to be told. As we approach its looming entrance, the chill in the air deepens, and one can't help but feel the weight of countless eyes, watching, waiting. Are you prepared to uncover the secrets of Harrington Manor? For once its doors open, there's no turning back. Rumors have always tainted Harrington Manor with a dark hue. The Harrington family, once the wealthiest and most influential in the region, were far from benevolent rulers. Tales abound of their cruel reign over the town, levying crippling taxes, seizing properties, and sentencing those who dared to defy them to torturous fates within the manor's depths. But their cruelty wasn't merely confined to power games. Whispers in the town speak of the Harringtons' twisted entertainments. They were said to have invited the less fortunate for grand feasts, only to hunt them for sport in the vast grounds of the manor when night fell. The family's descent into occult practices only intensified the town's animosity towards them. Forbidden rituals under the cloak of night, disturbing alliances with shadowy figures, and chilling screams echoing from the manor became almost routine. It was said that the Harringtons were in pursuit of eternal life, no matter the cost or the number of souls they had to sacrifice. The very name, Harrington, became synonymous with treachery and cruelty, a black mark on the town's history, casting a long, haunting shadow that many believe still lingers in the silent halls of the manor. Amelia Harrington, young and unsuspecting, returned to the town as the last living descendant. Unaware of her family's sinister legacy, she was drawn to the manor, hoping to reconnect with her roots. But as she crossed the threshold, the weight of her ancestors' deeds pressed upon her, and the manor, ever hungry, sensed a Harrington within its walls once more. When Amelia unlocked the ancient door leading to the manor's underground, she was met with a scene straight from the deepest pits of hell. The dimly lit catacombs seemed endless, a maze of cold stone where shadows danced with each flicker of her lantern. As she delved deeper, she encountered rooms that bore witness to perverse rituals. One chamber was encircled with chains and shackles, some still bearing traces of decaying flesh, suggesting prolonged captivity and torment. The floors were etched with arcane symbols, places where dark rituals had been performed. Proceeding, she found an old operating room. Disturbingly, it wasn't medical instruments that lay on the tables, but tools of torture, sharp, rusted, and stained. Notes pinned on the walls detailed vivisection, the melding of human and animal, the attempts to birth aberrations, all in the Harringtons' twisted pursuit of power and immortality. An expansive gallery showcased portraits of townsfolk, their faces distorted by anguish. Some were mutated, limbs sewn where they shouldn't be, eyes that had seen too much horror. Accompanying each portrait were meticulous notes, a step-by-step account of every cruelty inflicted upon them. But the true epicenter of horror was the chamber at the catacomb's heart. Here, a vast pool filled with a thick, dark liquid churned silently. Around it stood statues of the Harrington ancestors, their hands extended, each holding a chalice. Upon closer inspection, Amelia realized the pool was filled with tears, blood, and the essence of countless souls, drained over centuries. Amelia's heart pounded loudly, echoing in the hollow expanse. The sinister legacy of the Harringtons was not merely cruel. It was an abomination, a blight upon the very soul of humanity. The weight of her lineage pressed down on her, a legacy of pain, betrayal, and unspeakable horrors. As Amelia navigated through the manor's labyrinthine corridors, she was met with increasingly horrifying spectacles. The once regal dining room was now a hellish tableau where ghostly figures were compelled to feast upon their own kind, their mournful cries barely muffled by their ghastly repast. The grand ballroom, a symbol of the Harringtons' decadence, now held an eternal danse macabre. Spectral dancers moved with agonizing slowness, their faces twisted in torment, their every step a reminder of the sadistic pleasures the Harringtons derived from their suffering. And the nursery, meant to be a haven of innocence, was the most grotesque of all. Possessed toys roamed with malevolent intent, their once joyful tunes now discordant lullabies of despair. The malevolence of the Harringtons had left no corner untouched, turning the manor into a never-ending cycle of cruelty and torment. Amidst the relentless horrors, a particular artifact drew Amelia's attention. A grand, ornate mirror, its frame adorned with grotesque carvings of twisted faces, each appearing to scream silently. The glass itself seemed to swirl with shadows and mist, as though it contained its own tempestuous storm. Drawing closer, compelled by a force she couldn't resist, Amelia's reflection became distorted. Instead of her own visage, she saw countless souls, their faces contorted in anguish, reaching out to her. It was in that moment she understood. This mirror was the heart of the manor, the nexus of all its malevolence. Legend had whispered of a curse placed upon the Harringtons. The mirror, a gift from a scorned lover skilled in the dark arts, was said to trap the souls of its victims, ensuring they suffered for all eternity. The Harringtons' lust for power and immortality had them using the mirror ruthlessly, collecting souls to amplify their dark rituals. But now, with Amelia, the last of the Harrington bloodline, before it, the mirror sought to complete its collection. To trap her soul, end the Harrington line, and seal the curse forever. As the trapped souls within the mirror reached out to her, Amelia understood what she must do. To free the souls and break the curse, a Harrington's life force was required. Steeling herself, she approached the mirror, feeling its cold embrace. With a whispered apology to the innocent and a plea for forgiveness, she willingly surrendered her essence to the abyss. The mirror cracked, then shattered, releasing a blinding light. When the luminance dimmed, where the mirror once stood was now an empty frame, and Amelia was nowhere to be seen. The malevolence that had plagued Harrington Manor was vanquished. The once tortured souls found peace, and the town's dark chapter was finally closed, all thanks to the ultimate sacrifice of the last Harrington heir. Years passed, and nature reclaimed the grounds where Harrington Manor once stood. The tales of its horrors became legends, then whispers, fading into the annals of history. Yet, at the heart of where the manor once loomed, a single white rose blooms year after year, a silent tribute to Amelia Harrington, the last heir who redeemed a cursed legacy. In her sacrifice, a dark chapter ended, and hope blossomed anew.
Survive the tale and crave more. Your bravery deserves applause. Dare to dive deeper. Haunt that like, share, and subscribe. Whispers in the dark or screams aloud. Share your thoughts. Your voice guides our next ghostly tale.